Hello to students in Ethan Stanton's Mr. Stanton's English 4 and Mr. X's Evening English 4. I'm here to talk about the word imply. Imply is a verb, and it means to suggest that something is true or that you feel or think something without saying so directly. So the basic idea is to communicate indirectly. In Spanish, insinuar. So an example is when the teacher said, "I'm so excited to see you here on time." That maybe she implied that the student was usually late. So if a teacher said that, imagine, "Que milagro, you're on time," right? The teacher didn't say, "You are usually late." She said, "I'm excited to see you on time." So that's an indirect way of saying you're usually late. The teacher didn't say those words, but the student could get that idea from what the teacher said. So that's what imply means. Spanish, insinuar. Word family's implication is a noun. Remember that tion in English is always a noun, never a verb, unlike Spanish. Implied with ed is an adjective. It could describe like the implied statement, the implied facts or something like that. Somebody implied that a certain thing was a fact or was true. But the main thing to remember with that is imply is to communicate indirectly. So synonyms for imply: indicate, suggest, or hint. Hint is dar una pista, right? But not say it directly. Antonyms, opposite of imply could be state or say directly. And so a sentence related to English, studying what we study in English class, would be an author can imply something in a text that he or she doesn't state directly. This happens all the time. Sorry, everyone, that was the bell. I hope you don't have the volume turned up on your headphones. So an author can imply something in a text. So that happens all the time, like especially in poetry, but in any kind of literary text. There are a lot of things that the author doesn't tell you that you have to guess or figure out, or the reading strategy for that is called make inferences. You should have seen that before. So if the author implies something, that means you have to guess about it. It's not said directly. And we use that all the time with literature. Poems often have, they'll have figurative language, which you can, from the figurative language, you can say, well, I think it probably means this, but I'm not sure. Because it's not direct. It's implied. The author implied. Another thing that I would like to say, which I didn't write here, though, is remember yesterday's word was implicate. That has a completely different meaning. Implicate means to show that someone is involved in a crime, right? And be involved in a crime or something bad, something criminal or bad. And imply means just to suggest. So it's just communicating indirectly, but it could be any kind of communication about anything. Doesn't have to be a crime, doesn't have to be bad, it can be anything in the world. So that makes it very different from the word implicate. So don't get confused by those. Thank you for watching, and that's it for today.